Hi, Ms. Rayback.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Tracy Smith from the HR department here at VA. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I just want to make sure that you're here for the right interview. So I want to go over the job description and to make sure that this is the interview that you're here for.
Okay.
Are you here interviewing for the medical laboratory technician?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Just want to go over a few points with you for the job, just to kind of go over some descriptions. This position, the duties for this position include many of the following things. Performs venipuncture on both inpatients and outpatients. You're going to be utilizing age and gender specific skills to both with young adults and geriatric patients. You will be confirming positive patient identification, utilizing the VISTA and CPRS data for accurate processing in the system. You will also make the determination as specimen integrity is known beyond the point of acceptance. You're going to be assisting physicians and nurses and other hospital staff with regards to the lab results that you're going to be running, proper collection techniques, and blood and urine specimens.
Okay.
You're also going to be preparing specimens for shipment for reference labs that we might be outsourcing to, which might include complex processing steps, where, for example, logging out of specimens and logging in on results, proper order forms, etc.
Okay.
A lot of different pieces there. Our salary ranges from about $29,000 to about $38,000, depending on the specific location that you're at and depending on the specific position. That's kind of the range, just so you understand that. So tell me a little bit about yourself, maybe a little bit about your educational background, and we also know that you've been in the military, and a little bit about your military background.
Yes, ma'am. I was in the military for about 4 years.
Awesome.
I worked on airplanes. I've been deployed. I've worked under stress environments, being deployed and having time crunches on the airplanes because, airplanes, they have to go out by a certain time and do certain things. I got out, I went to RVT school, which is Registered Veterinary Technician School.
Okay.
I learned how to draw blood on animals. So I've been doing that for about 7 years ago,
Okay.
give or take. And then while I was working as an RVT, which I still work as an RVT, which in Texas I'm an LVT, but I got registered in California, and then I got licensed in Texas when I moved back. I do specimens for them, like
Okay, so you're a little familiar with that.
Yes, ma'am. It's dogs and cats, but there are a lot of similarities to humans.
Sure.
So like hematology, blood draws, looking under microscopes for blood smears, looking at the white blood cells, the platelets, the urine samples for crystals, stool samples for different types of parasites. So that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years or so.
Awesome. So a lot of medical experience in a different area, but you're very familiar with a lot of different.
Yeah, it has to do with
medical
animals, but I mean.
Right. Sure.
The same
But
concept.
skills that definitely can transfer over.
Yes, ma'am.
So you told me a little bit about your field experience already. Now, can you describe some other previous job experiences that you've had relative to this position? You said that you talked a little bit about your current experience. Anything else you can tell me about your previous experience that might be relevant to this particular position?
Well, like I said, I've been working, I worked in the ER as well, so we did different types of things. But it was a ER for animals, of course. But I learned different tests on that, like PTT test, doing the ISTAT, like for ketones and all that. So I did that for a year. I know it all has to do with animals, but we have my clinicals. So my clinicals is also experience that I've had with different hospitals. I went to Hondo, I went to Uvalde, I went to Metro Methodist. So those are all the different hospitals that I got to see with their different equipments and different things that they do there as well. And then I did my phlebotomy rotation out at Hondo, and I got over 300 perfect sticks in the summer, which we only needed to do like 180. And so.
Nice, very nice. So what inspired you to change out of what you're currently doing into becoming a medical technician? Why the change?
Well, so when I got into the animal field, I love animals, I love that. I got to do more of the lab aspect of it, and I realized that I liked the lab aspect of it. And this job gets really emotionally and physically exhausting sometimes, just because you have to go through the loss of an animal or how the owners feel, so it's more not just the lab but emotional. but the lab aspect of it is what I really like the most, looking things.
Okay.
And so I kind of came upon this, and I found out that they had a program with a health profession, with a human aspect of it. That's just like, it was just that goes with what I like, which is the specimen part of things.
Nice, very nice. All right, well, tell me a little bit about your knowledge and your experience of quality assurance and quality control analyses.
So, like in school, so we do our laboratories and we do QCs, but in our clinicals, you know, with the different hospitals I went to, they had different machines. I worked on the cell dying, which is a CBC machine.
Okay.
That we had to do QC every day at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Sorry. And then also at Hondo, I worked on the coagulation machine called the ACL. And with that one, they had to do QC twice a day, so they had like a chart. So we had to do it, I think like 7 o'clock in the morning and then 2 o'clock again. So we had to do QC twice. And then the coagulation had a D-dimer test. So with the D-dimer test, the only time they did we only did the QC was when when the test for a specimen would actually come in.
Okay.
So they would have to run that first. And of course, it has to be at room temperature. So you have to let it cool out. And then, you know, I worked on the another one in Hondo, the Architect.
Okay.
The Architect has a lot of QC and quality control because they have all different types of enzymes. So every time a new lot number came out, we'd have to run a QC and do the calibrations for that. And then on certain days of the week, like Tuesday and Thursday, they would run certain batches. So they would run like testosterone, this one only on Tuesday and Thursday. So on Tuesday and Thursday, those were the days that you only did the QCs.
Okay.
And so, I mean, that's...
Nice. Sounds like you got some really good experience out in Hondo.
I did, yeah.
Very nice. All right. Describe some of the levels of different supervision that you've had in the past, and maybe some examples of work that maybe you did independently, where you didn't have your supervisors right around, but when you had to work on independent jobs.
Well, you know, in the military, we have our ranks, right? You have your airman, your staffs, your techs.
Yes.
So we did have our supervision there, but there's a lot of times when we work swings or nights, our supervision, the higher ups weren't there.
Okay.
So we did a lot of work on our own.
Okay.
I mean, there was somebody higher up, just not in our field. Like, there was officers, but they were not part of our shop, I guess is that way to say it. In the military, I mean, it's pretty much, if I was NDI, I was NDI. I was the only one who did that. So I was pretty much on my own.
Okay.
And I'm the one that did everything and made the rules and made the decisions and made the calls and all that for that.
Okay.
And then in the vet field, and it's kind of weird, but there's decisions we have to make when the supervisors are gone. So
Yes.
if a pet comes in for a triage or decisions with a client or something, we do have to make those decisions. So I've had to do that. So I've worked with supervision right there, and I've worked with supervision not right there. So I've done both.
A little bit of both.
I've never actually had supervision like right there next to me, just kind of in the same vicinity if we needed anything.
Wonderful. So how do you feel you are as a team player?
I'm a good team player. I played sports my whole life, so you know, for you being in sports, you have to be a pretty good team player.
That's true.
Working the vet field, you definitely have to be a team player because if a dog comes in an emergency, you have to jump on it. You have to make sure that, especially CPR, that you're doing it accurately. Trying to do well with the clients and the pets. It's all about being a team player with your other associates.
Great. What would you say are some areas of strength for yourself?
Let's see, my strengths. My strength is I have a very good work ethic. I try to come in early. I usually leave late. I have to make sure everything that I'm supposed to do that day is done before I leave. I don't like to turn anything left undone over to other people. So I really think that I have a very good work ethic. I work hard. I'll come in if I need to, if somebody calls in. I hardly ever call in. I called in like one time was when I had the flu. That wasn't really calling in though. It was more like the doctor told me I couldn't come in.
Oh.
But I'll go in, like even if I don't feel good, I'll go in and so.
Work ethic, it's a good thing. What about an area maybe where you need some growth?
So we all need some growth. I personally would like to grow more in leadership skills. I feel like that I need to grow in that aspect due to I've worked with other people. I've worked in vet hospitals. I've worked in the military, growing. I feel like I need to expand on my leadership skills in the aspect of I want to move up.
Okay.
But I also need to learn to delegate to other people appropriately and not take everything on myself.
Okay. That's fair. How do you personally reduce stress for yourself and try to achieve balance in your life? Work, home, just life in general.
So my dogs, honestly.
So tell me about your dogs.
My dogs are very stress relievers. I come home, I let them go outside, but they just are very therapeutic. They come up to me. They know when I'm having a bad day. They know when I need that. They curl up next to me and let me pet them. So that's very therapeutic. I know, pet therapy. And my cats too, and I actually like to just calm down with watching a good movie, relaxing. That's good. Another thing I like to do, I like to take the dogs to the park a lot. It's very relaxing because I can take them out and they can go running and I'll read a book or something like that while they're out there doing that.
Very nice. Tell me a little bit about some of your short-term and long-term goals.
My short-term goal right now is just to try to get into this field, get more experience. My long-term goal, honestly, is to work in either microbiology or work in hematology. But if I was going to work in hematology straight out later on, I'd want to do a specialty place. I really want to learn more about the aspects of the blast cells and the megablast cells and the tumor cells. And I would like to work for an oncologist one day. That's nice. My long-term goal. My short-term goal is just to learn everything I possibly can about the laboratory aspect for now.
Very nice. What do you like or dislike, or both, about your current job? Current job field.
It's really hard sometimes when it's very emotional. When you've known the pet for 4 or 5 years and you have to be in there with the owners saying goodbye. Yeah. It reminds you of your own pet, especially when they get older. So that's the hard part. Another part is that I don't like the aspect that, clients can be very needy, but they aren't just really needy. They're very, I feel like that they should do more, and I understand that they can't do more, but it's sad when they can't afford to help their pets.
Take care of them more.
Right, to take care of them more. Another thing is that I'm supposed to go in at a scheduled time, and there's a lot of times that I have to stay late or I don't get home until really late, so I've worked way longer hours than I was supposed to that day. So that's a lot of things I don't dislike. I also don't like that I go in early and just not getting the reciprocation of how hard I work or how long I work or the extra stuff that I do.
Okay, let's talk about a specific situation here. If you received a specimen in the lab without any identification, what would you do?
Well, first of all, there's no identification. We have to, if it's a blood sample or a sputum or something like that, we have to contact the phlebotomist or the nurse who collected it and let them know that they have to recollect with the correct patient sample label, because you can't run anything without that.
Okay, great. So if I were to call someone as a reference for you for this particular job, who would be a good person for me to call?
It would probably be, her name is, her first name is Deborah Gass, but she is the veterinary doctor that I've worked for the past 3 years.
Okay.
She would give me a very good reference.
Wonderful.
She asked me to do a lot of stuff for her while I'm there and goes to me for a lot of things.
Okay, great. So, do you by any chance have her copy of her number and address on your resume?
My resume with
perfect.
All that stuff, yes ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Well, our position that you're interviewing for, we are accepting applicants all the way up until October the 27th. We will be making a decision by November the 15th, just so you won't think that we've forgotten about you. We'll let you know either way, actually. And I've really enjoyed visiting with you today.
Thank you.
It sounds like you've had a lot of really great experience. Do you have any questions
I do
for
have
me
a
about
question.
the
So I know
job?
you talked about the salary and
I
all
did.
that stuff. Is it full time or part time?
It is full-time.
Is
Yes, full-time, full
4
benefits.
days a week? Is it like 4/10?
It is 4/10s. It's 4 days a
4/10s.
week, 10
Okay.
hours a day. Yes.
Is it
It's Monday.
mornings,
It's-
evenings?
It's mornings. It's Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
And it is coming in at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, reporting at 7 a.m.
And then I know like the VA, since I work with the VA, they have their own like insurances and stuff like that. Is that set in like, is it like 90 days after?
It sure does. Very good. You've done your homework. You
Oh,
know how we work, right?
I do.
Right. That all. Yes, absolutely. All that applies.
So, no, but that's all the questions I had. You answered a lot of what the job entitles at the very beginning, so
All
thank
right.
you.
Yeah, we're real excited that you came in to visit, and like I said, we'll let you know either way about the filling of the position. So,
Okay.
good luck.
Well, thank you for your
Nice to
time.
meeting with
nice
you.
to meet you too.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you again. Bye.